Welcome to my little glasshouse tuition for me garden mirrors. So you'll probably notice, so we've got some compost here. Sand. Most modern composts, they get a bit too claggy. What happens is the recycled wood product, whatever, can get too dry and too wet. So what you do is you add some sand to it, and that mitigates that quite a lot. You don't need lots, you just need a little bit, just to give it a bit of drainage. So there's only light stuff. I'm going to mix a whole lot in. My other magical ingredient is that stuff. Hopefully you can see it. It's called Root Max. This is macrorrhizia, so it's like a friendly fungus, you know, the kind of stuff you a bit like that Yakult and that Actimel stuff that you drink for a good gut bacteria and all that. Has the same effect. And what it does is it binds with the roots as they develop, and what it does, it helps it get more nutrients, plant immunity. It basically really kind of jigs it up, soups it up for want of a better word, and enhances the whole process. So instead of having, say, you need more pesticides and more fertilizers, this will probably cut it down and make the plants more adaptable to kind of rubbish soils as well. So it's worth a bash. Used it last year, very impressed. Okay, so I've ordered some more. I put my last of it in here. Okay, so we'll just mix this up. I'm not going to bore you to death, because to be honest, it's only like just a couple of minutes. You don't get seasick, man, because you're on the same bench as I'm working off. Okay, so I'll try not to make it sway down too much. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't put this on the bench. You don't need to. So what you do is you can have a big square of compost, put a little pot on like that, make sure it's level. Now we're putting on some tomatoes. These are my tomatoes here. This is a variety called Rosala, best cherry tomato in the world. Start to look a bit peaky. You can actually see on the leaf itself there's a little bit of colour. So it needs potting up now. So this is what we're going to do. Now, when you're potting any kind of plants, or tomato plants or what have you, just move my arm because that's not helping you. Hang on, I'll shove you back in. All low tech here, mind. No fancy. Right. So we're using basically the next size pot up. Anything you can just about get your fingers in is right. If it's too big, the poor little plant is just gonna struggle. It really is. All right. So it can get too wet and too dry. So you really just next size up. Put a little bit in the bottom. Okay. Don't be obsessed with firming the thing down. Everyone's like, you know, you're not making a pie. So generally speaking, when you put your plant in, okay, push it down, push it firm, and that's all it's going to need. Oh, incidentally, you'll notice there they've got some nice juicy root system going on. What I do is I run my tomatoes dry, so I only water them when I see them dry. So then I have to actively hunt for the water and the nutrients, and that had Root Max added to it. So you can see it's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. So we'll stick them in there. All right, bit more in. All right. So actually, when you firm it down, that's the only firm compaction it's going to get. All right. So that's what you're looking at. Keep the top of it loose. All right. If you don't keep the top of it loose, when you come to water it, the water just flows off. So you want it at the top. All right. Now, this might sound a bit silly, but try and keep your pots similar size or similar type. If you've got similar pots, same size, they're all going to dry out the same way. They're all going to equal amounts. If you've all got like up and down and Mickey Mouse selection of pots, it ain't going to work. So try and keep them to the same thing. Tomato plants, in my opinion, prefer the depth. All right. Now, later on, these are my chili plants here. I will use a shorter and wider pot. Why? It's just because it works. All right. Sometimes in gardening, when I talk to my learners, why do you do it that way, Michael? For because it works. Need to know why it works. So same sort of thing. And like I said, I'm only going to pot a couple up for you so you can see your root half at least compost in there. There isn't a set rule. All right. It's just basically what works. Okay. Now I've got a couple of plants in here, and there's somebody probably watching that thinking, "Hey, Michael, how do you know which ones you've got? You know, surely you can't tell tomatoes apart." You can, depending which ones you grow. I'll show you. So this is like your traditional kind of up and down vine tomato, right? So you'd have to be pinching these out and putting them on sticks or strings or whatever you want. Right? I'll show you another one. This is called Totem. So that's a bush tomato. Alright, so you put it in a pot and you'll just do nothing to it. It'll just grow and give you tomatoes. You don't have to pinch it out, any of that faff. All you've got to do is just feed it. And when I show you the two together, see, bigger leaf and everything, so they're easy to tell apart. These ones are for my learners, for my colleagues. I'm going to do a class and I needed some staff-proof tomatoes that couldn't kill. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll put one of these up. And then what I'll do is I'll show you what I would do afterwards. So this is a totem, same sort of thing. Right. You just do it by, you roughly work out how much compost you want. Again, you're not firming it down. If you firm it down too much, you're not going to get the water in and you're not going to promote root action. It's like wearing shoes that are too tight. You punch the compost in and it just can't move. Take that one out. Canny roots, aren't there? So we'll put that in there. I'm hoping the camera can see it because the problem is it's just rough and ready in this glass house, mate, I tell you. Right, so a bit of that. Okay, it's probably down here somewhere, so I'll just move it there so you've got like that. Alright. Tap it. All I'll do is by tapping you loosen it up. Now this is the fun bit. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So, when it comes to watering them, I've got some secret sauce, right? This is not Coca-Cola. What this is just ordinary tap water, or water. Now what I've done is I've put in like a teaspoon, no I haven't, I'm lying, tablespoonful of liquid seaweed in. What that will do is not feed them. What it'll do, it will help promote the root system, make them root better. Okay, so it's just a little trick. I have loads of little tricks and things if you want me to do it. So generally speaking, you want about a 3-second burst of water on them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or my learners will tell you 1 elephant, 2 elephant, 3 elephant. If you try and moderate how much you give them, then it's nice and consistent. All right. Don't move them yet. Let the water kind of like sink in and jig in because the water's going to fill all the air pockets up. And I'll make it nice and lovely. So I'll leave them where they are, right? And then I'll move them a bit later. Okay, now you won't have to feed these or anything. Now when they get just to the right size in here, you'll have enough to pop them in your grow bags or call it what you will. So this is basically how you transplant your tomatoes. Okay, just remember, put your compost in, don't go crazy by putting how much you put in. You know, you want to put about half in or whatever, nice and loose, and then you firm it in. Okay, don't start firming composting. All right, because they'll just sit there and laugh at you. Okay, so you want to get in, so you just remember that it's important when you're potting anything. Don't firm the compost in before you do it. You're firming it in as you put the plant in, and then it binds around the roots. All right, so you can do your own like that, can't you? And let me know how you get on. Smashing.